Hi, so my story today is Those Shoes. It is written by Mary Beth Bolts and it is illustrated by Noah Jones. I think it has a very similar message like our positive action did. This book was first published in 2007, so it's not very old, and it was published by Candlewick Press. They're allowing Mrs. Moore to read it to you. Now, can you predict, looking at the cover, use some prediction skills, what might you say, why would the title be called Those Shoes? You see these three boys together, and their shoes are all what? Similar. You see one little boy all by himself. His shoes aren't quite like that. Buy these shoes. Oh, it's like a poster he's looking up at, boys and girls. I have dreams about those shoes. Black high tops and 2 white stripes. Grandma, I want them. There is no room for I want around here. Just need. And what you need, my dear, are new winter boots. Brandon T. comes to school in those shoes. He says they're the fastest runners now. Not me. He's the fastest runner. I was always the fastest runner before those shoes came along. Nate comes to school in those shoes. Antonio and I count how many times Nate goes to the bathroom. 7 times in one day. Just so he can walk real slow up and down the hall. Next, Alan, Jacoby, and Terrence each get a pair. Then, one day in the middle of a kickball game, one of my shoes comes apart. Looks like you need a new pair, Jeremy, Mr. Elfrey, the guidance counselor, said. He brings out a box of old shoes and other stuff that he has for kids with needs, who need things. He helps me find the only shoes in my size. They're Velcro. They're like the ones my little cousin Marshall wears. They even have an animal on them from a cartoon. I don't even think kids want this or watch that cartoon anymore. When I come back to the classroom, Alan Jacoby takes one look at those shoes and laughs, and so did Terrence and Brandon T. and everyone else. The only kid not laughing was Antonio Parker. At home, Grandma says, "Oh, how kind of Mr. Elfrey." I just nod and turn back. I'm not going to cry about any dumb shoes. But when I'm writing my spelling words, every word looks like shoes. And my grip is getting so tight on my pencil, I think it might bust. So right from the beginning, this reminds me of our positive action. 1, yeah, he needed new shoes. It's not his fault. Shoes wear out. It's also not his fault that, to be honest, we can't buy new things all the time. But he doesn't want to wear the ones that they have for him. Let's see what happened next. On the Saturday, Grandma says, "Let's check out those shoes you've been wanting so much. I've got a little bit of money set aside. Who knows, maybe enough. You never know." At the shoe store, Grandma turns those shoes over so she can check the price. When she sees it, she sits down heavy. "Maybe they wrote it wrong," I say. Grandma shakes her head. And then I remember the thrift store. Hey, what if some rich kid who outgrew his 2 pairs for Christmas, or got 2 pairs for Christmas and gave them away? We ride the bus to the thrift shop. Black cowboy boots, pink slippers, sandals, high heels, every kind of shoe, except the ones I want. We ride the bus to the second thrift shop. Not a pair of those shoes in sight. Around the corner is the third, and I see something in the window. Black shoes with 2 stripes, high top, perfect shape. $2.50. Those shoes. My heart is pounding so hard as I take my shoes and hitch up my baggy socks. How exciting, Grandma says. What size are those? I shove my foot into it, curling up my toes to get my heel in. I don't know. but I think they fit. Grandma kneels down to the floor and feels the toes at the end of the shoe. Oh, Jeremy, I can't spend good money on shoes that don't fit. I pull the other shoe on and try to walk around. They're okay, I say, holding my breath and praying that my toes won't fall off right then and there. But my toes don't fall off. I buy them anyway, with my own money. I squeeze them on, and then I limp to the bus stop. At home a few days later, Grandma puts a new pair of snow boots in my closet and doesn't say a word about my two big feet shuffling around in two small shoes. Sometimes shoes stretch, I say. Grandma gives me a hug. I check every day, but those shoes do not stretch. I have to wear my Mr. Elfrey shoes to school instead. And one day during math, I glance at Antonio's shoes. One of them is taped up, and his foot looks smaller than mine. After school, I head to the park to think. Antonio is there, the only kid who didn't laugh at my shoes from Mr. Elf. We shoot baskets. A loose piece of tape on Antonio's shoes smacks the concrete every time he jumps. I think, I'm not going to do it. We leap off the swings. I'm not going to do it. We race around the playground to the other. I'm not going to do it, I say. To what? Antonio says, breathing hard. Grandma calls me for supper and invites Antonio over too. After supper, he spies my shoes. Hey, how come you don't wear them? Antonio asks. I shrug. My hands are sweaty. I can feel him wishing those shoes were his. That night, I am awake for a long time thinking about Antonio. When morning comes, I try on the shoes one more time. Boys and girls, think about compassion. What do you think he's thinking about with those shoes? Before I change my mind, the shoes are in my coat. Snow is beginning to fall. As I run across the street to Antonio's apartment, I put the shoes in the front door. I push the doorbell and I run. At school, Antonio is smiling big and with his brand new shoes on. I feel happy when I look at his face and mad when I look at Mr. Elfrey's shoes. But later, when it's time for recess, something happens. Everywhere is snow. Leave your shoes in the hall and change into your boots, the teacher announces. Leave your shoes in the hall. It's then that I remember what I have in my backpack. New boots, new black boots that no kid has ever worn before. Standing in line to go to recess, Antonio leans forward and says, "Thanks." I smile and give him a nudge. Let's race! First graders, I think that is such a beautiful story because at the beginning, I am feeling bad for him for not having the kind of shoes he truly wants. I know there are times I want shoes. And Mr. Moore says, no, don't buy those, too much money. And you have shoes that work. And he is right. But then the neat part about this story is he gives to someone else, even though he wanted it so very badly himself. He has compassion. He feels bad for his friend who is not complaining, who does not have shoes that are even together. Boys and girls, you can change the world one first grader at a time. One almost second grader at a time. Be amazing.